Hi, I'm Daniel Andrews, owner and creator of the DAN Show, and welcome to my latest 2021 NFL mock draft video. Today I'm going to break down the Minnesota Vikings and what they will do with the 14th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft. Now, if you're new here, go ahead, hit that subscribe button because I release new draft videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And also ring the bell, that way you're notified of my latest draft videos, like my latest mock draft revision video, where I went ahead and changed both the 9th and the 10th picks in my 2021 NFL mock draft. And don't forget, every Friday night, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, I go live right here on YouTube. If you have a question, I have an answer. I answer you live on YouTube. Anything goes. Any questions you have, I answer you live here on YouTube, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Now that I got that over and done with, let's break down the Vikings. In my mock draft, I have both Alabama receivers still on the board. In most mock drafts, one or both of these guys are off the board at 14. And this would be a lot of fun here to draft either one of the Bama receivers. The reason why is you have Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson already, but either Waddle or Smith adds a completely different dimension. Not only that, you have an MVP candidate in Dalvin Cook. This team was 11th in scoring last year. This instantly becomes a top 10 scoring offense, maybe even a top 5 offense with either one of these Bama receivers. They don't even have to start, just them being on the field with two legitimate number one receivers and an MVP candidate in the backfield. This would be a lot of fun, and this would be extremely exciting. I'm going in a different direction, but it would be really hard to fault the Vikings for wanting to become an offensive juggernaut with a defensive-minded head coach. Just with the players coming back, you know the defense is going to be better. So this is something I put a lot of consideration on, but again, I'm going in a different direction. Most mock drafts have Micah Parsons off the board. I do not. Michael Parsons here would also be a lot of fun, especially under a guy like Mike Zimmer. This may be too much to resist right here. If you're in a situation where you go best player available, you just take the best player off the board regardless of position or need. Micah Parsons could be the pick. However, I don't see Micah Parsons being a weak side linebacker. He'd be more of a strong side linebacker. You already have Anthony Barr, who's really a similar player. Anthony Barr was a defensive end who they moved as an off-ball linebacker, has a very similar size-speed combination. So you already have a player like Micah Parsons and Anthony Barr who you retained and is coming back off of injury. So I have a hard time thinking that Parsons is going to be the pick because they would really play him out of position, and he would be very raw. And I got the Vikings going with somebody who's going to contribute a lot more this year. I almost took Christian Darrisaw here. This would be a day one starter. He immediately replaces Riley Reif on the left side. Left tackle, first day starter. This makes a ton of sense. If you've been following my channel at all, you know how important I think the left tackle position is. I think the two most important positions on any football team are quarterback and left tackle. If you lose your left tackle starter, you need to go ahead and replace them. They haven't through free agency. Christian Darrisaw, a player who I absolutely love, would be a day one starter here. And no disrespect to Riley Reif, probably an upgrade. So I wanted to put him there. That was going to be the pick, but I decided to, I went against it. Originally, when I set up my mock draft, I had Jalen Phillips as the pick here, but with Dallas not taking Gregory Rousseau, I was thinking between Gregory Rousseau and Jalen Phillips. And I think Rousseau has a higher upside. Phillips is a more natural fit in the Mike Zimmer defense. So I kind of went back and forth between these two players. And then I started looking at Kwity Paye out of Michigan. Here's a guy who was coached by former NFL coach John Harbaugh. Plus, he lined up in multiple positions at Michigan. It was very rare that he just did one thing. And I thought that would be exceptionally appealing to an old school coach like Mike Zimmer. So I had a hard time figuring out what to do here, but here's the thing. Mike Zimmer's an old school defensive coordinator. All right, this is an old school defensive minded coach whose team had 23 sacks last year. All right, they had 48 in 2019. They had 50 in 2018. They only had 37 in 2017, but they were the number one scoring defense in the NFL in 2017. Last year, they were 29th in scoring defense. They gave up 29.7 points a game. I'm going to say that one more time. A Mike Zimmer defense almost gave up 30 points a game last year. So defense is obviously going to be the pick here. With the 14th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Minnesota Vikings select Joseph Asai, defensive end out of Texas. Full disclosure here, Darrisaw was almost the pick. I went back and forth and back and forth. And both Bama wide receivers also I can make a strong case for. Micah Parsons is maybe the best player available, but easily the best defensive athlete available. But I gotta believe Zimmer needs to improve the pass rush. And when I look at the Vikings, they signed Tomlinson from the Giants, and then they also get Michael Pierce, who sat out for COVID reasons last year. And Pierce and Tomlinson come from 3-4 teams. So both these guys are designed to stuff the run, but they don't rush the passer. And I debated with the three available pure 4-3 defensive ends, Gregory Rousseau, Jalen Phillips, and Kwity Paye, but I decided to go with Asai, and the main reason is that, in my opinion, Asai seems to have the best motor, and I think it's pretty significant. If you had to watch all four of these guys, and you had to say which one gave the most effort consistently, I think it's Asai by a pretty large margin. Another thing is his pro day was exceptional. He put on some extra weight. He measured in at 6'3", 256, but he had a 41.5-inch vertical and a 10.11 broad jump. If you're not familiar with draft numbers, these are defensive back numbers. This would be extremely impressive if you were a 180-pound defensive back, not a 256-pound either outside linebacker or defensive end. Plus, he ran a 4.6 340. So even though he put on weight to get to 256, he looks extremely impressive. Danielle Hunter, who's going to come back on the opposite side, when he entered the draft, he was about 6'5", 250, so basically the same type of size, put on what I call the NFL 20, and has been one of the best pass rushers in football. So I really think Asai will do the same thing. Now, I will say this. I do believe Asai is really a natural 3-4 outside linebacker. However, when you have Michael Carter, who's coming back from COVID, he's a 340-pound zero technique. And then you have Tomlinson, who played nose tackle in the 3-4 defense. So you can have somebody who's undersized on the edge when you have all that size up front at the two tackle position. So even though Asai is going to be undersized, Zimmer's going to love the motor and the pass rush that he's going to bring. So look, this is my pick. This is what I think, but I want to hear from you. Did you like the pick? Did you boo me? It's okay if you did boo me. Leave a comment below. Let me know. Let me see the boos from you if you hated the pick. Again, I start these videos just as a way to get a conversation going, but ultimately I want to hear from you and what you think. Wednesday, I'm going to release the Patriots and what they're going to do with the 15th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft. So, hey, I will see you Wednesday.